I had a great question from a follower asking if I've thrifted fabric or a garment and it doesn't have a selvage, how on earth do I find the grain line? Really good question. Before I delve into that though, quick reminder, your straight grain runs along the selvage of your fabric and your cross grain will always run perpendicular to your selvage or your straight grain. So let's say we had a big bed sheet. Your straight grain is always going to be along the longer side. Easiest way to think of this is think about just a roll of fabric, rolling it up like this. So straight grain will always be on the longer side. If you had, say, just a random big piece of woven fabric and you wanted to get your straight grain or your cross grain, you can just cut into it and give it a tear. That is going to give you some kind of grain line, either the straight grain or the cross grain. Doesn't really matter, it's giving you a grain line to work with. You can always also cut into it at a crazy angle. It's still going to tear nice and straight on your cross grain or your straight grain. If we're working with a stretch fabric, easiest way to tell is just give the fabric a pull. So the way it stretches the most, that is going to be the cross grain, because just think that's the way it goes around your body. Perpendicular to that, where it's got the least amount of stretch, that is going to be your selvage or your straight grain. If we're talking garments, so pants, top or a skirt, these little red lines on it, these are always the straight grains. So I hope that really helps when you're thrifting fabric and garments and trying to figure out where the straight grain is.